Welcome. I'm Allie. This is Starve Your Doubts, Feed Your Dreams workshop. You'll need a pen and paper for this, so go ahead and grab it. Set up a nice quiet space. You can focus on self-care for the next 45 minutes. If you watch the intro videos, great. You've got a head start. Bring any notes that you took. If not, no worries. We're going to dive right in. And we'll start at the beginning. Since I was a child, I thought there was something off about society. I certainly didn't fit into the mold that it was attempting to shove me into. I felt like this constant burning pit of frustration and overwhelm in my stomach. And I had no tools to deal with it. So I internalized it. My inner critic would say things like, oh, you're crazy, you're too much, nobody likes you, your ideas suck, you're the problem, you're not worthy. You're angry and frustrated all the time. You're never going to amount to anything, and you're not made of the right stuff. In my teenage years, this continued. It was a dark night of the soul. It further alienated me from my friends, my family, life in general. It was like no matter what I did, I didn't feel good about it. I felt shitty all the time, to the point where I got really depressed, waking up every morning thinking something like, I can't do this anymore. I want to run away. I wish I was never born. I dealt with it with self-medicating, and that was a temporary escape from feeling depressed and overwhelmed all the time. Somehow I survived high school, went on to college, I got married, started my own family. That was in my 20s. I wanted to be the best mom I could be for my daughters. I wanted them to thrive and have a much better experience of life growing up than I did. So I started going to the gym, I discovered yoga, I cleaned up my diet and lifestyle. And so I thought anyway, but the truth is I was in deep denial, like well into my 30s. I was exhausted and depleted for so long, for so many years. I convinced myself this was my new normal. And I went to the doctor for a physical, and I told her with a smile what a happy life I was leading. And she's like, okay, is there anything I can help you with? I said, hey, I'm really tired. I really wish I had more energy so that I could take care of all my responsibilities, still have gas in the tank for the things I truly enjoy. She asked me if I was stressed out. And I said, well, no, because I'm a yoga teacher and I meditate for 10 years. So she ordered blood work. And as it turns out, that was bullshit. I was full of shit. My blood work came back sky high with cortisol and extreme anemia. She said my iron level was 5. It was supposed to be 75. And she was surprised I was able to get up and function at all. That's when it all came crashing down. Denial, deflection, delusion, the blinders. I couldn't bury my head in the sand anymore. I had to face it all head on. What is this? This is my new normal that I had accepted as my life. Feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, and like guilty on the inside. And then like slapping that together with like a smile on the outside. And what I thought was a healthy diet, a regular yoga, meditation practice. I was getting enough sleep, no more self-medicating, no more junk food. That's supposed to keep me healthy, right? No, wrong. Now I realize that my inner and outer worlds were not in alignment. They were not aligned at all. And what's more, especially now since my daughters are entering their teenage years, and we're in a time when mental health is in a crisis, and premature stress is a leading cause of death, like what's the disconnect? What happened? How could I help my daughters avoid that trap? And you know what? The problem wasn't all me. I certainly play a role in my own suffering. We all do. There's a bigger problem, a societal problem. So here's the truth. There is something very off about society. It's because it's not set up like the natural world, where there's a symbiotic relationship between all life. Somehow humans have gotten off track. There's a disconnect. We either don't see it, we don't have the tools to deal with it, so we often internalize it subconsciously like I did. And that is what's incredibly depleting. From a shamanic perspective, this idea that we're somehow separate from nature is the root of all suffering. We're here to be earth keepers, stewards of this beautiful planet. We're the creators here. That's our purpose. That is our original nature. So what happened? How do we get derailed? In my humble opinion, part of this disconnect is that spirituality and medicine, they used to be together. They got ripped apart. They got hijacked, separated, and compartmentalized. Throughout human history, we have corrupt leaders that claim they're doing for the greater good, but their intentions are motivated by greed, power, and control. It's a thinly veiled divide and conquer strategy, and it's been carried out all over the world for eons, from the persecution of paganism in Europe to the conquistadors in the Americas, to the deculturalization of Native Americans, to enslaving Africans, to witch hunts for herbal medicine women that were taking business away from the male doctors in Boston, to the big oil Rockefellers that built all the medical schools to only teach their petrochemical pharmaceuticals while funding massive propaganda campaigns to label anything else quackery. It continues today. So basically, the problem is colonization. It destroys the very fabric of who we are as human beings and what we're here to do. It disconnected us from our original nature, right? It rips apart spirituality and medicine, shoves it into little boxes, and either demonizing or now it's censoring anything that doesn't push its agenda forward. So what I see today is this notion, what are we left with? We doubt ourselves. We doubt our original nature. We doubt our abilities. We're not very confident or trusting of our intuition. Maybe that's not even real. We are maybe perhaps unworthy of having our own connection to spirit, God, source, a higher power, universal life force energy. Choose your language, because that got separated and compartmentalized too. So we doubt our body's innate wisdom to heal itself. And therefore, we must seek it from something else, from something outside ourselves. It's like we have no other choice. And that is what's extraordinarily disempowering. So Jim Morrison said, the most important kind of freedom is be what you really are. You trade in your reality for a role. You trade in your sense of self for an act. You give up your ability to feel, and in exchange, put on a mask. There can't be any large-scale revolution until there's a personal revolution. On an individual level, it's got to happen inside first. I believe what the Lizard King was alluding to, and what most people might not realize, is that your innermost thoughts and beliefs have the power. What's happening inside creates one of two vastly different worlds, one of two vastly different lives. One, this toxic treadmill of never-ending heavy energy of like stress, obligation, exhaustion, expectation that ultimately leads to massive amounts of misery and underperformance. You're not reaching anywhere near your full potential, and you know it, even though you're grinding all the time, dragging yourself through the day. The really important stuff that lives deep in your heart and soul, that little spark, it just never sees the light of day. And then if you're like me, you'll start having these angry outbursts and start yelling at the people you love and start to feel out of control and like grip down, and you make it worse, become someone you don't recognize, someone you don't want to be. And it's like, why are you yelling at me, Mom? What are you so mad about? Do you ever hear anything like that from someone and get caught off guard? Like, wait, what? I was yelling. Oh yeah, that's not what I want to do. I'm not my best self right now. And I feel like an epic failure because now I'm yelling at them, but I'm not really mad at them. I'm mad at me. I'm mad at my life. And I created my life. How did I even get here? It's just like a downward spiral of doubt. So that's the world of feeding self-doubt. And this is what so many of us have been programmed into. And it's a trap, I think, that a lot of the world is stuck in. And we don't even realize that there's another option. So, show of hands who can relate. Do any of you struggle with like self-doubt, burnout, exhaustion, overwhelm, anxiety, and then around all of that, depression and guilt because you feel all those things? Yeah. So I'm here to tell you, it's not your fault. You're not bad. You are not broken. You've inherited a broken, dysfunctional approach to life. If you're feeling like there's got to be a better way, a different way, you're right. There is another way. There's more to life. And it's a fact, it's a whole new universe. This is option 2. Different paradigm, a different perspective. In this world, when you feed your dreams, it is filled with clarity, more ease, more spaciousness, passion, energy, and freedom. And in this new world, what we call it is living in Aini. So Aini means reciprocity, giving and receiving in a symbiotic balance and harmony. It's almost like the yin yang symbol. It's something like that. Embodying your original nature, being a creator, an earth keeper, because at any given moment, you have the power to choose which one you're going to live in, which paradigm you want to create, which one you're going to cultivate. and feed your energy into. And ultimately, that's what makes your reality. And the best of all, this choice is always 100% within your control. I want to show you today how to get out of that world and start getting into this new one, and how you can starve the world of self-doubt, feed the world of making your dreams your reality, and how you can do so in a way that's actually full of joy and passion and real energy, and honors the freedom and the play that so many of our souls, I think, have been craving. You can make a conscious choice right now to let go of the tired old ways, reclaim space in your life for what lights you up and makes you feel the most alive, to grow your power, embody your original nature, and create that life that is in I Me. I'm here to tell you it's time to reclaim your birthright, to co-create with the elements, to tap into the infinite energy that is all around us, to cultivate your intuition, trust your inner wisdom, trust your body's innate intelligence and its ability to heal itself. It's time to open to infinite possibility and have a direct line of communication between you and the universe. And this is the world of living in I Me, being an earth keeper. So show of hands, who's ready to make that choice? Awesome. When we choose to heal ourselves, we create our own medicine. So the word medicine got hijacked. I think that also needs to be redefined to include the alchemizational process of taking low vibe, heavy fear and doubt energy within us and transforming it into pure creative potential, pure light, radiance, this much higher vibration of fully embodied creative expression, the truth of who you are. Let that shine through. Take those deep desires in your heart and soul and make them your reality, and then share them with those around you. Imagine if everyone did that. Imagine what kind of society we would have. Does that resonate for you? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. We always have a choice. We can express from our lower self. That is our small self, our ego self, the fixed mindset in scarcity, lack, doubt, fear. That's one option we always have. We have another choice, our higher self. That is a growth mindset. That's love, trust, curiosity, adventure, prosperity, creative problem solving, radiant soul expression, the core of your being, who that really is, your authentic self. Which expression do you think gets better results? The higher one, of course. Yeah. Which one do you want to focus on? What do you want to turn towards and align with? So let's start with a bit of history to put what I'm about to show you into context. Pachacuti is a Quechua word that means the return of time, change, or disturbance. This Incan prophecy speaks of a time of upheaval and cosmic transformation. It signifies a reversal of the world, an overturning of the space-time continuum. A pacha is a span of 500 years, and it's a traditional way that the Inca read time. Kuti means to flip. The time when the Spanish conquistadors first arrived in America corresponds with one Pachacuti. This era recently came to an end with the arrival of another Pachacuti, this time leading to a way to set the world right side up and a return to a golden era. And it's said that the Andean people and their indigenous ways will see a resurgence, arise out of the previous period of conquest and oppression, and begin to thrive and return to a period of grandeur. The Pachacuti also speaks to the tumultuous nature of our current society, in particular the environmental destruction of the earth. Transforming and returning to I Me, one of balance, harmony, sustainability, return to that symbiotic relationship. This will happen as people change their ways of thinking, become more aware, and it represents the death of the old way of thinking about the world that we live in and an elevation into that higher state of consciousness. We will describe ourselves not as who we are or who we were, but who we are becoming. We're passing into a new age of transformation. So, spirituality and medicine are intricately intertwined. And it used to be common knowledge that energy medicine is a blend of both. It was widely practiced by our indigenous ancestors all over the world. And now it's time to bring that back. And you might be wondering, how, Allie? How can I go from that lower self-expression of feeding my doubts to higher self, feed my dreams? Well, to get from where you are to where you want to be, first you will need a map. In this case, it's a map for life. It's called the medicine wheel. There are many versions of it. This version was created and kept safe from the conquistador colonization for 500 years by Andean earth keepers in Peru. who have decided, according to their prophecy, that now is the time to share it with all of humanity. That includes us. And the Earth Keepers believe that this medicine can change the world and flip it back to Aini. I'm going to share my screen now so we can check it out. All right. Do you guys see that? Can you see it? Okay. We start in the South. So let's take self-doubt around the medicine wheel. We would start in the South in earth medicine. This is our starting point because we live on the planet. And this is our foundation for life. That is for our physical body, our physical health, and also our financial health, right? That builds our foundation in life. That is earth medicine. So if you wanted to take self-doubt around the medicine wheel, you could write on your paper. It doesn't have to be fancy like this, just maybe across like a compass, south, west, north, east. So, okay, where's your unconscious programming around self-doubt, right? What are some limiting beliefs that you have built your foundation on? That would be the first step. And the lesson of serpent is the archetype of the South. It's shed the past like you shed your skin. Just let it go. You're like, oh, I've outgrown this old way. I'm going to shed it and grow into the new me and move on. It's like, you know what? This doesn't serve me anymore. I want to turn away from it and I want to turn towards something else. The new way is I want to feel like this in my body, foundation of health and financial stability in my life. This is how I want to feel. The next step is we go to the West, right? So it moves from the South to the West. That is water medicine. The archetype is jaguar. Jaguars can see in the dark. They are also at the top of the food chain. Nothing hunts a jaguar. She has no enemies. And that is our emotional state and also relationships. So if you were, okay, where's my unconscious programming around self-doubt in my emotions and my relationships? Like, am I lashing out at the people I love because there's something I need to work on myself? Am I stuck in an emotional pattern? In the West is also family patterns, like what you inherited from your family. We inherit the good stuff. We inherit the other stuff that's no longer needed. So in water medicine, we separate the gift from the rest, right? We keep the gift, we forgive the rest. Healing gate is forgiveness. Forgive yourself, forgive others. I have no enemies. How do I want to feel? What kind of relationships do I want to build? What is my dream? Those are some of the things you can map out in the West. And then we move on to North. And that is air medicine, also sometimes called mountain medicine. Hummingbird is the archetype. And the lesson of hummingbird is drink only the sweetest nectar. We only drink what nourishes us the most. We don't drink stuff that doesn't nourish us. We just don't do it. We just like ignore it and focus on what am I passionate about? What lights me up and makes me feel most alive? That gives you a clue into like what you're here to learn, like your soul journey here on the planet in this incarnation. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to create with it? And that's on the intellectual and mental level. So maybe there's some thoughts. Maybe you have some like looping thoughts that you get caught in that you really don't like these patterns. So what are some of your thought or mental patterns that you get stuck in? Or maybe you think about yourself that you're like, this is not the sweet, sweet nectar of life. I don't want to drink this. And then what do you want to drink? That's like mapping the new story. So we have like the old story, the way it was or the way we are now, and then the becoming story. Who am I becoming? What sweet, sweet nectar do I want to drink? And what are those things? And then we move east. Eagle condor is the archetype. That is star medicine. And that's transformation. Also, fire is in there too. Fire is very transformative. Anything you put in a fire, it's going to come out different. And that is like spiritual, soul, energetic. And that is the place of transformation. That's where you say goodbye to the old you. I've shed the old skin. I've forgiven myself and others. I have this new way forward. That's now I'm embodying this new way and it becomes me. That's transformation. And then from there, you take it all the way back to Earth because that's where we live. We don't live in the stars. We live on Earth. And we spiral around the medicine wheel towards Aini, right? Towards the middle. And once we walk the medicine wheel, we can understand, oh, when you're over here, way over here somewhere in the emotional realms, hijacked by emotions, it happens, right? If you know how to walk the medicine wheel, okay, here I am, I'm over here. What do I need to forgive? Okay, then I can move here. Okay, what am I reclaiming? What am I declaring? Right? Reclamation, declaration, that is part of air medicine. What's the new way forward? Okay, got it. Now I'm going to embody it. I'm going to take action. I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to prioritize this in my life. And then that's where the transformation happens. And then we bring back what we learned back to the earth, back to our home, back to the people around us. We share it with the village or with the community. So how is that landing? You can unmute.
So, Ali, I'm kind of curious. So you were
Yeah.
talking about how there was this period of 500 years, and then we're supposed to go into a new era of 500 years. So is that 500 years already passed, or are we already in the new era?
Yeah, it started around 2012. That was an excellent question. Thank you. We are in it now.
Great.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be like the growth, and
Yes.
when we'll be able to prosper again.
We're the ones here to flip it. We're the boots on the ground flipping it.
I think that it sounds like the medicine wheel can really be a tool in our everyday lives. We can examine any issues that we're having around the medicine wheel, as well as experiencing the medicine wheel, but it's also a philosophy or just a guiding practice for everything.
Yes. Yes. It can help with anything. Like, so let's take self-doubt. I'll do me, right? So if I'm going to break down self-doubt, okay, physical, what does self-doubt feel like? It's heavy. It makes me feel like I don't want to get up and do anything, right? Sort of apathy maybe, and anger. I don't like that. Okay, let me go to the West. What are my emotions, and how does it affect the ones around me? Okay, I yell at my kids. I yell at my husband. I don't want to yell at them. I feel like shit, right? Okay, I don't want to feel like that. Can I forgive myself? Yes. Can I forgive those around me or whatever happened in the past? Could I forgive family patterns I inherited? Yes, I could. This will take time, of course, but yes, I can do that, of course. And then let's map it out north. In the mental realms, what are some thoughts about self-doubt? Oh, you're not good enough. Mostly for me, it's you're not enough, or you're not good enough, or you don't measure up, right? So, is that the sweet, sweet nectar? Is that what I want to drink? No. Okay, what would be a better way? That would be feeding my doubt. How could I feed my dreams? How do I want to feel? I want to feel alive. I want to feel full of vitality. That's how I want to feel. I want to have a sense of like wonder that children have about the earth and about everything. That's how I want to feel, or I want to think day to day. And then this process isn't like 3 minutes like I'm doing now. This takes time, right? And then the transformation comes when I do all of those things, when I go through all those healing gates, as I prioritize we have 3 assets, right? We have time, we have energy, we have resources. As I prioritize my 3 assets into the dream, into how I want to feel, like, okay, I want to be physically fit and have energy. Okay, well, that means there's a lot of foods that I'm not going to eat. They're out there, people eat them a lot. I'm just have to say no. And that's it, because I'm devoted to my vitality. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go for walks. I'm going to do yoga. That's it. I'm going to eat healthy food. And then emotional, I want to become aware of when I start feeling angry or frustrated. I want to lash out. I want to look at, what do I really need to forgive? I want to look at myself, like turn inward and focus inward rather than lashing out at other people. And then in the north, when my mind starts getting caught up in something like, oh, you're not enough. Well, that could be, how about you're learning? How about, oh, you're learning and you're growing? How about you're a work in progress, Ali? That feels like truth. I think I could work my way to that. Interrupt myself, like, time out. Here you are spiraling around in a bunch of bullshit again. Wait a minute. What is my new way forward? Hey, wait a minute. What am I focusing on? Let me reprioritize. Let me refocus. Let me come back to it. And that is when transformation happens. It's practice. it does take practice. We train our brain to focus on what we want it to focus on and take action steps towards it. And over time, that leads to transformation. I can share it with all of you. Ta-da! So the first and most important step in living in I need is to recognize that it's an inside job. You have to start becoming conscious of your unconscious programming. And it means you have to start managing your inner world of thoughts, feelings, beliefs around doubt or anything you're stuck in a much different way. Whether you realize it or not, every moment of every day, you're either wiring yourself further into doubt, further into patterns that no longer serve, or you're rewiring yourself for freedom, living in I need, towards your dreams, towards what that sweet, sweet nectar is, towards that transformation to soar like the eagle. So let's talk about the difference between change and transformation. So change is temporary. You could lose 10 pounds, you can gain it back. You could quit smoking, you could pick it back up. Transformation is permanent. A caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. It doesn't go back to being a caterpillar. There is no way back. It's a new being. It has a new body, a new way to eat, a new way of life. That's transformation. There is no way back. There's no faking it either, because a butterfly isn't a caterpillar with wings taped on. Transformation is authentic. It is permanent. The medicine wheel is a map for our transformation. It guides us along our journey. So I know in my bones that you have much more untapped potential that's not being realized. If you have a vision of having a bigger impact on the world, you feel like the path you're on isn't going to get you there. Your bandwidth it's full at full capacity. There's no more hours in the day. Being stretched to the max is like killing the joy in your life. If you feel like that, or you feel inadequate and then beat yourself up about it, or have a deep desire to make a positive impact on the world and on as many people's lives as possible here on Earth, that's my dream. I want to do it joyfully. But right now I'm maxed out. I got some ideas, but I'm not sure how to execute. If that's you, okay, let's sit down. Let's map it out. Let's flip stones and let's analyze everything. Let's go around the medicine wheel. Let's unpack it all and see what's in there. And that's what we're all about in Live Fully Alive. We get together, we do it every single week. So let's talk about the results of going around the medicine wheel. Michelle, would you like to share?
It really has been transformative, as you said. Beginning in earth medicine, just getting rid of all of that heavy energy. I made a lot of proactive changes that bettered my family, that I didn't realize were kind of holding me back. So that was great. In water medicine, I kind of dealt with some other, past traumas and things. And I'm in air medicine right now. So I'm cleaning out metaphorically and physically my home. So, but it's just been very helpful because, I had, as you know, Allie, a shattered ankle shortly after my son was born, and I'm supposed to be walking with a limp and not be able to move so much. And the yoga sessions have been really helpful. I don't walk with a limp. I'm very fortunate. But yeah, so everything in every aspect of my life has been touched by the medicine wheel. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah. So I have a couple questions. We've got a couple more minutes. So if you want to write down these questions, this is meant to be like a jumping off point. You can start with the questions and continue on. You can take it into your life from the workshop, right? Bring it into your life, integrate it, integrate. All right. So does how you feel on the inside match what you do on the outside, right? The inner feeling matches the action that you take. Inner being versus outer doing. That is something to break down. Question 2, what's draining? Where do you feel drained in your life? Draining situations, draining people, draining places. How are you draining yourself? Extra challenge? Can you pinpoint why? Here's a hint. There is a limiting belief in there somewhere. There's something in the South here. You've got a belief in there. somewhere. Number 3, the new way forward. You can start to write your new story going around the medicine wheel. Physically, I want to feel like this. Emotionally, mentally, energetic, or soul, spiritual. Here's how I want it to be. That is the new way for you to embody. And do you have any comments? If there's anything you'd like to share?
I could share maybe part of my story and understanding how that works, because I didn't know about the medicine wheel before. And I took a different approach. My approach was that I felt stuck in my relationships. I felt stuck where I was physically. I was not happy about it, and I didn't know how to change that situation. So then for me, I thought about a goal. I thought about a dream. What is it that I've really wanted? What do I want to be able to live, or how I want to be able to live in the future? And the more I thought about that dream, then I started looking for resources to help me make that dream happen, right? And so then I was able to connect with teachers, and I was able to connect with people who helped me. And it's actually really amazing, because I do believe now that you can manifest your dreams, because once you can actually identify what that dream is, then these people will come into your lives, and these situations will happen that will allow you to be able to fulfill that dream. And so I really do think, like you said, that the universe and whoever wants everyone to be happy and joyful and to share that joy with others. And so you have to find what it is that brings you that joy. And it's not always easy. It's going to be a challenging road, in that you are going to have to look back at what has held you back in the past. Like, was I really physically stuck? No, actually I wasn't. Was I stuck in those relationships? No, not at all. I had choices. I just couldn't see those choices because of, like you said, the limiting beliefs, thinking that I couldn't do anything about it. And then once I was on that road of making the dreams happen, everything just kind of fell in line, right? The teachers, the experiences. It's not that it was always easy. There were challenging times, and there were times I was, of course, questioning whether or not I was going around the right path. But now, looking back on my journey after, 2 years, I'm like, it was absolutely what I needed. It's absolutely what I needed to do in order to break free from those limiting beliefs and my situation. And, ironically, I'm still where I am physically. I'm still here in Connecticut. But now I have this other place that I can go to that brings me joy and that I can share with others. And I don't feel stuck anymore, because I have a choice. And I always did have that choice. I just didn't see it.
That was a beautiful share. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mia.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you can see the benefits of walking the medicine wheel.
Absolutely.
And
and it's great to have a tool, right? So what I really love, and some of the teachers that I've, followed and stuff, is they break down. I mean, in our minds, we think, oh yeah, this is what I need to do, but how do I get there? And they kind of break down the steps. Like you said, you go through, well, how is it that it's affecting you physically? How is it that it's affecting your emotions? And what is it that you would rather be feeling? And what is it that you would rather experience? But sometimes, we just think, oh, I'm just stuck and I'm just frustrated and I don't know what's going on. And there's no tool to be able to kind of guide us. And that's what this medicine wheel, and that's what you do, is you guide us.
Yeah. The medicine wheel is the guide, and I am honored to share this gift from our ancestors with you and with anyone who's watching the replay. I share it with the utmost respect. I'm here to be a reminder, like on behalf of every person who you're ever going to inspire. Maybe you watch this, maybe you have your own way of doing it. You're going to go out in the world and be that. For them, I say thank you. You're going to touch the lives of others and share it. Let's go make this the year you live in ID. Yeah. Awesome. And my intention for this workshop is to be a starting point. It's the very first steps towards creating your new story. It's possible to go and implement it on your own and integrate it in your life. It's the slower way. There's setbacks, there's challenges along the way. There's always a gift in there for you. Those setbacks, those challenges, it's something that we have to face and learn from. And when that old story creeps in, that old way, and it's like the blinders of denial start going on, it's when you're in the thick of it. Sometimes it's difficult to see the way forward on your own. And like, it's hard to see your own shadow. Like, where's my shadow? I don't see it. Where is it? It's right behind you, but I don't know. I can't see it. Right? But it's easy to see someone else's sometimes. Like, oh, it's right there. I can see it. Right? So with help, with earth medicine, through working with our group, one-on-one healing session, your trajectory can be much steeper. You'll go further in less time than doing it on your own, with a teacher, with a way forward, or maybe several teachers, as Neon has. The way humans transform is with practice, support, and accountability. Like, there is no other way. So working with me, you can join our group, Lee and Michelle. You'll get that live weekly fire ceremonies. For practice, we work with and learn directly from the elements. And we do meditation, we do self-clearing. I teach you how to do energy medicine. And we make weekly commitments to the group. We hold each other accountable. Sometimes we fall off the wagon, like life happens, the chaos ensues, doubt gets the best of us. It happens. We are all a work in progress. Whatever happens, bring it. Come on every week, share, be heard, be seen, just as the way you are. We help you get back on track. We relentlessly believe in each other. We relentlessly cheer each other on, starve our doubts, and feed our dreams. So if you're ready to join us, continue our conversation, there's a link to schedule a free shamanic coaching call with me. We'll take your unique situation around the medicine wheel and co-create an action plan to move forward. That'll take maybe 30 to 45 minutes. And right now I have 3 ways to join Live Fully Alive and work with us. There's different price points based upon the kind of support you need and what fits your budget right now. On the call, we'll decide whether we're a good fit to work together. If we are, awesome, let's go do this. If not, no worries, there's no pressure. I'm here to be in service of the highest good.